Well, I guess all over California, mainly based in LA and Bakersfield. Kind of had a start in Bakersfield, then I moved to LA. I'm Justin McKinney, the guitar player and songwriter.
My name is Craig. I'm the vocalist, lyricist. Met up with Justin, kind of started it in our apartment complex on the east side. He wrote a song, hit me up, was like, hey, I wrote this really cool song. You want to come over and put some vocals down on it? And I said, absolutely, man. I've been a big fan of his work when he was in The Art of Torture, so kind of started from there.
He's got diabetes.
1.5 diabetes, dude.
Insulin all day.
Diabetes.
My name is Rob Naramani. I'm the rhythm guitarist of the band. I met Justin a little bit later down the line after the band was already established for about a year or so, and joined up with them after my previous efforts I've been in, and yeah, here we are now.
Luis Enrique Martinez. I play the drums. And Rob hit me up about doing a band, and I didn't really have much to do at the time, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity to play some music. I've been a fan of theirs for probably a few months before he even asked me, so I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought I'd just do it.
We played death metal.
From
space.
Death metal from space.
From Mexico.
From Mexico, yeah. We're listed on a venue in Vancouver as, was it
Los Angeles Death Metal from Mexico, yeah.
That's us.
It's probably my fault.
It's probably Louis' fault,
Technically, it's my fault, because the promoter had asked what should I label the band as, and I said, here, label us as this, and that's what you actually put on the flyer.
That's us, man.
So that'll be a good, nice
tagline, little tagline. Los Angeles Death Metal from Mexico.
Personally, my influences, I guess, yeah, for Zenith Passage and myself would be pretty big Deeds fan, Deeds Flesh fan, Surreption, obviously, you know, all of our label mates, thankfully. Fallujah, these guys, their gig. And then, let's see. I get a lot of influence from Philip Glass on a lot of compositions, a lot of his work, his solo work, his orchestrations and symphonies. I can go on, but I'm sure Greg wants to talk about like metalcore or something.
For me, for the Zenith, I would say, again, Deeds of Flesh is a pretty big influence, like vocally, Aeon, Surreption 2, but like some of my old influences would be Jesse from Killswitch Engage, Dallas from old Under Oath, The Cries of the Past era, and I would say Dan from Zayo, like Blood and Fire Bring Rest era. Just the highs and the lows those guys were doing in the late 90s, early 2000s was just uncompromised back then, and it was a huge influence on me as a teenager. Made me want to be a vocalist.
Eric Clapton is
Eric Clapton's my favorite guitar player.
In other words,
I would say Brian May is probably my favorite guitar player.
My influences are basically the same as Justin's and Greg, you know, as far as like bands go. I guess other personal influences. I listen to a lot of video game scores, some pop music here and there, just like kind of change things up, you know. Just like I do now. For some reason, I'm getting tired of metal a little bit, so I think something else to kind of just keep things fresh and
dairy.
Sorry,
Blasphemy.
And then, you know, I'll just go to his place. We'll go to a little Mexican joint right around the corner and get the mariachi band play. We'll just chill.
But era Los Reyes.
Los Originales del Sierra, dude. Sweet. Hell yeah. Vicente Fernandez, all of that.
Pepe, your boy Pepe Aguilar.
Yes. Oh man.
We're gonna get killed.
Yeah. And as far as drumming, a big influence on Thomas Pridgeon from the Mars Volta. Anything he really does is amazing. Thomas, if you're watching, you're the fucking shit. And then aside from that, a lot of like atmospheric music, a lot of R&B, jazz. Really Wayne Shorter fan. Coltrane, of course. And then of course metal. You know, like Marco Miniman or Hans Grossman. A lot of like the prog drummers, Matt Halpern,
Greg
Hampton, Justin McKinney, Rob Maramonte, all those drummers.
this all turned out to be just some small little apartment building, you know, just recording project. I was going to school at Bakersfield College at the time, and I had just decided to, you know, invest my time in recording and just kind of screw around with it, and it turned out, you know, to develop into the Zenith Passage. It started out with just a song, Tunes of Trepidation, which was a silly song. And then Zenith was the next one, and then actually started to pick up steam on the internet, which is cool. And then, yeah, I pulled up old Greg, Beatus Hampton over here, and he laid down some of them fresh tracks. And then, yeah, internet presence is a saving grace for the Zenith Passage. I would say we would not be where we're at without the internet. So thank everyone out there who supported us.
Yeah, it's been kind of a whole surreal kind of experience because, you know, Justin called me up and told me about this song that we had and that he had written, and I came over, laid down vocal tracks for it, and you know, got a really good response just from our friends, and figured we'd write another song, which, you know, like he said, became Zenith, and then after that, it was just an overwhelming response from the internet, and then when we put out Kaleidoscopic Tendencies, we had our friend John O'Gearson, who sang in a San Diego band called Lord of War, and they were posting about us, and that kind of just was like the catalyst to everything else.
Yeah, we picked up a lot of steam after Cosmic Dissonance was released. It was our single, and then after that, I just kind of writ that shit. I wrote what is it? Capricious being the intro, and then I just took my time recording all that and getting it all prepped up, and just kind of self-released through Total Deathcore. We got hit up by them. We did some distro deal with them, and that picked up a lot of steam. It was awesome. Grabbed the attention of like really awesome dudes like Wes Houghton, Faceless at the time. He pretty much gave us like a lot of credibility, which was awesome. He like personally went out and posted about us on Facebook, told a lot of his friends on tour, which was awesome. I internally in depth to that guy. He's awesome.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you, Wes.
Thanks, Wes.
All hella.
Man.
And yeah. And then, you know, just networking with people, networking with Rob. He'd always hit me up about me giving him a Guitar Pro for some reason.
Well, what happened was I had to learn songs from other bands, and my Guitar Pro had like just got lost or recently, so I hit up Justin, and my computer crashed again, and so I got a laptop, like temporary one. I hit him up to get the one. Then I got my computer fixed again. I got Guitar Pro again from him, so like a total of 3 times I asked Guitar Pro from him. And then I just asked if I could just play in his band.
Yeah, pretty much that's...
Fucking.
So this all came to be because of Guitar Pro.
Yep.
And then, yeah, then it was just us 3, and we had our bass player Mike come in at the time. And then, yeah, then we had Luis, and then after that we practiced like, what, 2 or 3 times, and had our first show at Walnut Creek at the Red House. The response was overwhelming. Like I never ever expected anyone to come out to see a band that, you know, just did in my apartment complex. Something to do. But yeah, dude, eternally grateful for everything that's happened. I mean, we're on tour now after playing what, like 7 shows,
6, 7 shows. Yeah,
it's awesome. The response we've gotten. And then ever since Rob joined the band, he hit up Eric at Unique Leader Records. He had his connections through Fallujah, and we signed with a multi-album deal with them. And we're right now working on that album right now, about 6 songs in, and yeah, should be out by the end of 2014. Picked this up. Like apparently a lot of people were emailing them about Zenith Passage, and they finally, like, Axl Rosenberg had a really sick review on Cosmic Dissonance, and that gave us a lot of, you know, renown for that EP.
That's where I heard of the band, was Metal Sucks, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Then we had a good friend of mine, Steve Hilson. He was in a band called Polarization, and he kind of took over for the distribution of Cosmic Dissonance, and he, you know, we redid all the artwork things. And released that, got our first t-shirt printed, which was like a grumpy cat in corpse paint, which was pretty awesome. And then, yeah, thank you, Steve, for, you know, doing all that stuff.
You're fired.
Fired, Steve.
Fired, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Damn it.
Damn it, Steve. Fired.
After this tour, we're pretty much going to focus on getting the album completed, hopefully, before the next few months after this. And after that, still everything's in very early in the process of what's going to be happening further down the year. But right now, the main focus after this is to get the album done.
Yeah, it's just I've been in school for I'm finally out for the summer, and I have all this time after the tour, so I'm just gonna dedicate all that time to finishing the album. Like Free Crow is pretty much all done. Just gotta write out lyrics and then finish the riffs. And I'm ready to unleash this beast. There's only really one song that's kind of like conspiracy theory related, which was Zenith. Just kind of alien based, like we're created by aliens. Just a cool little, nod to sci-fi stuff. But for the most part, Cosmic Dissonance, lyrically themed is as like a universe, like how random and capricious it can be, like how it kind of destroys itself or rebuilds itself, and like just kind of highlighting the chaos in that. But yeah, our new album is a lot different from that, really sci-fi oriented,
Lyrically, very, very, very different too.
Musically too. It's got like a lot of cool motifs that'll be repeated throughout the album. We're really stoked on it. Really creepy sounding. I just want to say thanks to anyone who's ever, cared about us from the beginning. Just from, us handing out demos, like, in front of venues to, like, just, posting on our Facebook page, Just thank you guys so much for all your support. It's been awesome getting to the point we are now. Hopefully we can continue to, get to that zenith, top, that pinnacle, that cream.
I also like to thank all the bands that helped us out too, because we've gotten a lot of a huge support from bands like both in the hardcore and metal scenes posting about us on Facebook and other sites. So bands of all the caliber just helping us out and definitely gave us a lot of exposure. So thank you to not just the fans but all the bands too that helped us out.
Should we continue to say the bands? Serpent, War, Fallujah,
Faceless, Born of Osiris. That was one of the other bands that definitely posted something about us. That was a really cool thing. So if they watch this, thank you guys.
Rivers of Nile.
Rivers of Nile.
They're awesome.
Fit for an Autopsy.
Kenny Vale.
Ultra Beast.
It's pretty much the current Unique Leader
roster. Current Unique Leader roster, yeah.
Gary Buscammer.
Gary Buscammer, yeah.
What do you like to thank God?
Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios todos. Cuídense.
Y
me gusta tetas.